In this video, I'm going to show you guys how I fix this 2022 Nissan Juke rear door with paintless dent removal. No filler, no paintwork, just by using the paintless dent removal techniques to save this door from the body shop. So grab a brew and enjoy. So this is looking like an ugly bit of damage to fix. I've had a look at it, I've had a good time to look at it and inspect it and just try and visualise how I'm going to fix it. And yeah, I think I'm in with a good chance of saving this panel. So, get my pen ready. I'm not going to mark it all the way up because there's quite a lot to mark up. So the main areas, we've got a big kind of soft kind of impression dent there, okay? And we've got a large crowned area there. In fact, we've got two crowned areas there, and then we have got the obvious dent. I might not have enough ink in the pen for this. It goes all the way down here. Okay, so what's happened, I'm assuming the actual accident which has created this dent. So a vehicle's come down here like this and it's just hit the bottom corner of the panel, right? Pushed this in, and as it's pushed it in, it's kind of kinked and distorted the rest of this panel. So, right, back into it. We've got a body line here, okay? So this body line is going to need a little bit of attention as well. But all in all, I think if I can get the cold glue onto this and give it a few aimed shots, okay, I reckon I can massively reduce this damage to a manageable state, okay? I might need to strip the door down, might need to take the door off because it would just be easier to work with it horizontal. I don't know yet, not made up my mind. Let's see how the cold glue goes first and then I can take it from there. So this is 99 isopropyl, 99% isopropyl, and a brand new rag with no previous polishes or waxes on there. Nice and clean, straight out the bag. There we go. Perfect. Let's get the cold glue out. Let's have a look, see what's the best for this job. I've managed to get quite a selection of cold glues, okay, so I've got lots of different ones. Sergio Pillen, sticky gum, the brand new one from DB Dentals, ultra sticky, the Glexo Diablo, oh God, and probably others, okay? And then I need a slide hammer. So again, I've got a range of slide hammers going from the Cam Auto, Papa Bear, Metal Medic, what a lovely slide hammer that is, and Anson Tools, PDR outlet one, amazing. And check this one out as well, look at this. Oh, carbon and chrome, or stainless steel, really good combination. Get that stuck in there and give it a good pull. A&J Smart Repairs, GK PDR Technic, all with cold glue on the end, so it's just very, very easy for me to just pick them up, warm them up and start pulling dents out. Right, which slide hammers am I going to use? Okay, put all these back first because I do have a little bit of OCD. It's going to have to be the Cam Auto with the Cam Auto tab, basically because it is the widest round tab that I've got, so it's just the obvious choice for this, and then I'll just go on to the others if I feel fit to. So put that tab onto the slide hammer, stick it onto the car, and let's see some magic happen, because I've got a really, really good feeling that I'm going to reduce this damage by at least 70%. I like that number. I wish it was 90%, but 70 will be good enough for about 10 minutes work. Let's go. Okay, so I've degreased the panel, I've picked the cold glue set up. Now I need to put a little bit of warmth into the panel, so with my heat gun. Ooh, that was quick to get warm. Okay, so give it a nice warm up. And while I'm warming it up, I can decide where I'm going to start. So this paint has been repainted at some point. It's a little bit dry on the edge, so this tells me that it could have had a repaint at some point in its life. So with cold glue, Cold glue, when it sticks to the panel or when it pulls the actual dent out, it releases the damage, but it releases it differently to hot glue, okay? So the cold glue kind of, it pulls on the panel, but it guides the panel out, and the panel kind of pops out as it is. With hot glue, when you stick the glue onto the panel, it properly bonds onto the panel, and when you pull, it's more likely to pull a high area if you pull too hard, or if you get a really good bonding. So you can kind of distort panels with hot glue more than you can with cold glue, and that's why I prefer to start with cold glue. Right then, we're nice and warmed up. I would say, well, I'm just going to start at the bottom and then go to the top and then work my way to the middle. I could start from there and go all the way up there. Let's see how the first pull goes, okay? There's no right and wrong way of starting this. As long as we pull the dent out, then that's job done. Right, bottom it is. Gonna go there. Place your bets. Whoa! So that was on the first body line. It's a double body line, so I'm gonna go there. Why not? Can if I want to, can't I? I'm just gonna walk up to the top, okay? So, in the next low part of this dent, and a bit further up. Nice. It's a little bit flexible because there's no strength in this area. A bit further up. What do you think so far? See if we can get this out before customer. Hey mate, can I have a price for a job? Hey up. Hey. Yeah, yo. Right, and then go to the top, I think. What do you reckon? Oh. Right underneath where that crown is. A bit more. I would say that's done a pretty good job. Let's get the inspection board on there and have a closer look and see how far the cold glue has got this repair. Check this out then. So we've got the crowned area at the top, so this needs knocking down, and then the line has come out pretty well, to be fair. It's a bit ugly around here. Oh, that's my reflection. I'm joking. It's come out pretty well. Yeah, like I say, it's a bit messy around here, but that's not a problem. I can certainly deal with that. And then the dent in the centre as well. Just knock this crown down, and then this will massively reduce. Just needs a bit of glue on there. Get those lines. Oh, we can see everything now. Look at this. So that nasty crown there, look. That's my next port of call. I'm going to be knocking that down with hammer and knockdown, and then get down on my knees. There we go. That's not looking bad at all. Let's have a look from the other side. Marvellous. We can see how sharp this crown is at the top there. Literally, I think it's just attached to that dent. We can always check on the other side. Let's have a look on the other side, shall we? Oh, there's definitely nothing there. Look how nice and flat that is. And that is what the... what my side will look like pretty soon. Right, here we go. Got a rubber cap on there. Can use metal, polished metal onto the panel, but I prefer a little bit of a buffer on this. And then just very, very gently start one end and then work my way up. And just keep doing that until it looks nice and flat on the fog. It's not a race when we do stuff like this. You need time, especially when we're fixing the large damage like this. If you do get overwhelmed as well, you can just go outside and rest your eyeballs for a couple of minutes, come back in and you can see it with a fresh pair of eyes. It usually helps. Or go for a cup of coffee. It's good to keep the panel nice and warm. It's important to get a feel for this as well, so you know, you might just think I'm just whacking it down, smashing it down. There's a certain amount of force you put into the knocking down. Too much and you'll create a slight low, which is what I've done there. So we don't want to create too many of those because then it'll look a total mess. So the aim of the game is to try and get this crease down very carefully and blend it back into the panel. So that's why it can take a while to do this. Okay, I have spent about 20 minutes, something like that, just going from a few different directions, just swapping the board over and using the line board wall as well. I've got this crown looking a lot better now, feels nice as well. But I just need to come a little bit further into the meat of the panel and just fix this one as well. Okay, so there's a bit of a crown at the top there, so a bit more tapping and a bit of cold glue on there. Just get this top bit finished and then I can go down a little bit further and start repairing the bodyline area. Line board. Here we go. Right, cold glue. Where is it? Over there. You might see the panel distort a little bit when it's getting warm. That's absolutely fine. And then I try out my new slide hammer. Look at this. A&J Smart Repairs from Germany. And I've got the brand new sticky glue on there by DB Dentals. Let's have a go. Start at the top. There's a lot of tension still in this area because it's not releasing that dent as I'd like it to. It says as it releases. One more. One more. It's always best just to give it a couple of seconds just to stick rather than just on, off, on, off. Oh, like that. Okay, so reason why it's not coming out is again because of the crown area where the lines go tighter together. Okay, so I'm going to tap these areas down and that will reduce the size of the dent anyway. But yeah, lovely slide hammer. There's a spring on it as well, look. And get my drumsticks back out. Always make sure that the faces of the hammers or knockdowns are always clean, otherwise you're just gonna put that onto the panel. Light pressure, light force on the hammer strikes. Let's try a little bit more cold glue. can see what the issue is here. There's still a crown, but we'll just see what happens anyway. Never know. I got it a bit too hot there. Got the cold glue a little bit too hot. Just pull that off there. Comes off the panel nice. Right, I can see my culprit. Bit of a ridge here, so knock that bit down. And you might be asking, what ridge? So it is that bit there. You see where the lines go together? It is that bit that is stopping the dent from coming out. And a bit more cold glue. Oh, look at that. Miles better. Oh. Yeah, if you get this glue right, it properly sticks. Oh. Oh. It's a little bit wiggly, but not a problem. It's got to be down there a little bit. And then knock it down a bit more. A really good knockdown is this. Use it in all my other videos. This is the Crow Carb blunt nose knockdown. Right, give it a little wipe off. So it's shaping up well, this top bit. Just need to go a little bit sharper now. So that's the Crow Carb, that's real blunt, that's good for moving a lot of metal quickly. And now I need to be a bit more accurate, so I'm using a sharper knockdown. And I can pick between the orange peel, be very precise. And like I say, just finish this top area off, and then we can go to this lovely stuff down here. But it's nearly lunchtime, so I might have to do that this afternoon. Lots of hammers. Just using hammer, just a polished hammer on there. And back in with the hammer and dolly. Just a little bit of a low there. And a tiny line at the top and a bit there. But yeah, pretty much there. You may notice that I'm wearing my top, and that's because it's freezing today. Just it's hot, cold, it's raining, sun's out. It's 13th of May today. So yeah, bit of a rum old day. Right, let's get this cold glue off here. And now that's that dent repaired and this area repaired, and now I'm on to this area. It's going to be interesting. Okay, having a good look at it. I'm going to continue with knocking some areas down. So we've got a couple of creases here and there and everywhere. So I'm going to knock these bits down and just release a bit more of that tension. Then I can go back in with a glue pull. But I do need to check it with the paint depth gauge as well. Just make sure that the paint is okay and it's not double thickness or there's any kind of filler in there. Because as I said or mentioned earlier, it is quite dry around this area, and it does look like that front door has been painted as well. So yeah, a little bit more tapping, and then I can decide if I'm going to strip the door and stick it on a table. But to be fair, I don't think I need to do that. Right, tappy time. I need this heat gun today because I went out a second ago and I've just got all wet. It's like I say, it's a rub all day. Back in with the crow carb and blending hammer, Shane Jack's hammer. Just go up here a little bit. So it's quite low in this area here, quite low there. It's just pushed it in. So this will require a little bit more pulling up. But yeah, there's loads of different bits of texture. So this is really smooth. So that could indicate it's been flattered at some point and there's a bit of dirt in the paint. There, look, and then if you come up here, the texture changes. And if you go right up there, the texture changes yet again. So these are all things that need to be aware of, because if you get it wrong, then you're going to pull the paint off and then it has to go to the body shop, and then I don't earn no money. Now I've tapped those areas down, I'm going to check the paint to see how deep or see what's behind this paint. So using the next diag PTG paint thickness gauge, let's have a look. Oh, it's pretty thin to be fair. 69 microns, 85, 67, 74, so that's all within tolerance. Maybe I'm wrong. I've got no idea. It certainly doesn't look original paint. Maybe it's been flattered. I don't know. What would you do? Would you glue it or would you strip it? Let's find out. Yep, okay, I am going with the quicker route, so I'm not going to strip the door. I'm going to use the hot glue. But before I'm going to start using the hot glue, I'm going to go back onto the cold glue, this one. So put the crease tab on this time, okay. Just going to walk it around here a few times, just pull out those little bits, because like I say, cold glue is a bit more forgiving than the hot glue. I might have just jinxed myself there, and I hope I haven't, because I'd like to get this done looking beautiful for the customer. But anyway, gonna warm up the panel again, warm up this cold glue, just give it a couple more pulls and just see how the panel reacts. I do have a good feeling about it, but yeah, there's lots of options when you come to fixing damage like this. You could take it off, like I said, take the door off, take the panels off and fix it on a horizontally. But yeah, if I can keep it on the vehicle and repair it like that, then all the better, and it's less invasive, less evasive. One of those words. Right, warm it up. It's raining again outside. I'm quite surprised at the thickness of the paint, so I can only assume that it's had a new door on there, and it's been repainted for it to be that thickness. It's the thickness of a a genuine door, a factory painted door. The top-ish here. Okay, so I've got the glue gun ready with, this is the glue that I'm using, so Power Dent Glue. It is the dark green one, okay. Mega Power Green Glue, something like that. So I'm gonna use a small tab first, because I just wanna check it. I just wanna glue the tab to it, give it a small pull, take it off and just see if it leaves an outline of where the glue tab was. If it leaves an outline of where the glue tab was, it means that the paint is really quite soft, and there's a high chance that the paint's going to come off when I give it a good yank. Okay, so bit of glue on, there you go, that's all we need. And then I'll pop it down there. I hope this goes okay. And we use a lighter, use a light slide hammer. Once the glue stops sticking to your finger or your glove, it means it's ready to pull. So it's just still stuck on there. Or 29 degrees C, that's the optimum temperature to start pulling. Anyway, here we go. There is no outline, so let's give it another go. I've still got my doubts about this, but we'll anyway, we'll keep going. Got a bigger crease tab. These are gangrene crease tabs from blackplague.com, I think it is, .com. It will be because it's from America. Keith Cosentino's tabs, the ultimate tabs. These never break. Actually, they do. Broken once in about, well, whenever they came out, 10, 15 years ago. And I've got a drawer full of them. Right, let me have a go at that one there. This one. Third time lucky or unlucky. Not usually this nervous, but as I say, because it looks to have been painted, that's just a big red flag for glue pulling. I don't like red flags when we're trying to repair cars. I don't know why, but this light board keeps making dog whistling noises and it's really irritating. Just hope you can't hear it actually on the video. Just taking up the slack there. Okay, just popped another one on there, and I want to have a different kind of pull, if that makes sense. So it's crease tab. I want to get my feet closer together so I can pull this line up, okay? So let's see how this goes. Didn't really go at all, did it? Try again. Let's degrease, warm it up. And try again. There's quite a lot of glue on there actually, so might take a few seconds to go off. Use a heavier slide hammer this time. Just put a bit of isopropyl on a shaft because it does sometimes get a bit of glue on there and it tends to stop the movement. It didn't stick really. So we need to put some more isopropyl on there. Use another tab. Where was we? Pop it on there again, on that first body line. Meanwhile, I'll take the excess glue off these. It's good glue this because it comes off in one go. All comes off in one go. There you go. Apart from that little bit. Just use the back edge of the knife to get it off. That way you don't damage the surface of the tab, or just use a bit more isopropyl or heat gun because it's hot melt glue. Good job I got a belly. Stop that then, didn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty happy that the paint's going to stay on. Again, oh, so it's too warm. It's not ready for pulling yet because it's sticking to the glove. Remember, it's always going to be hotter in the centre of the tab, so the outside is going to cool quicker because it's in the elements. It retains the heat in the middle of the tab, so that's why it stays a bit warmer there. Right, cool. We're getting there. Just need to move a few things around because the fouling on me actually working, getting in the way. But yeah, happy days. Just going to tap down a few high areas and I'm just going to swap directions and work from the opposite side. But yeah, it's coming out pretty well, so I'm happy. Right, let's switch a Rooney. Quite a few lows and quite a few highs. Highs there where it pinches together and the lows where it opens up. So let's re-prep the area. Isopropyl with the clean cloth and then the more glue on the crease tabs. Look for that low area. Go on there. Oh, still on this first body line as well, so quite important. Just get rid of that glue. It is quite important to get this line out once, because if this line is kind of in like that, once the line comes out it releases tension in the panel. It's all about releasing the tension in the panel. There we go. Okay, so the time is 20 past 5 tonight. Let's have a look how I've got on, because I'm going home now, but I'll be back in the morning to finish it off. So let's have a quick look. Not looking too bad, is it really? Bit of a mark there. To be fair, it's just this bottom bit here, the bottom bit. That's a bit wiggly, but the rest of it is looking not too shabby. So yes, like I say, finishing for today, because I've got to do some stuff tonight, but in the morning, in about 10 seconds, 2 seconds time, we'll be back. Good morning. It is day number 2 of fresh head. Oh, my voice is a bit croaky this morning, but I got my cup of coffee. So we're doing well. Ooh, nearly didn't have a cup of coffee. So what I'm going to do today, I've been thinking about it, and I'm just going to take the door card off so I can get into the back of it and get a bar in there and then finish this little bit off. I could glue pull it, but it's just taking a long time to do. It's very time consuming, that kind of thing. And I do need to get this car back for the customer today. So yeah, going to take off the trim, have a look inside, and hopefully get a bar in there, maybe a hula hoop or some of a tool, and then I can just finish this little bit off. Another little tip as well, try not to rip these off because these serve a purpose. Overall, this is designed to stop moisture coming through into the car These don't look very important, but they do have a purpose like anything else. So it's best to try and get it off in one piece. Right, let's have a look in here. Hello. I would say this could have had a door skin. It's like being a detective, isn't it? Could have had a door skin. That's black, but on the inside of a panel is painted, so it's a good job whoever's done it, because the sealer looks good to me. Who knows, anyway, doesn't need any more body shop work because I'm going to fix it with paintless dent removal. And then I just need to chock the door, just pop that nut and bolt in there, gives this something to push against. There we go. So let's have another look and refresh our brains on this. So it does look like this body line is slightly in still, okay, because it kind of goes a bit flat around here. That's what I can see on the lines. And we've got a little bit here as well. You know, these little wiggles. So I'm going to attack all these wiggles first, all these slight lows, okay, pull these out, and then I can carry on and just hammer it up and blend it all out and finish it off. And the tool I'm going to be using for this is my hula hoop. Ta-da! And then a tip. So I'm going to go with something like a rubber tip kind of thing. Don't want to be too sharp on the tip side. There we go. And then just slide it in the back. I'm going to show you how to do that now. So this bar is designed to work back on yourself, okay? So this is a normal bar, okay? Nice and straight, whereas this is, well, it's bent round, okay? So let me just show you how this works. The hula hoop goes in like that. Then take it in, and then straight away I can get onto the back of this damage. I'm really comfortable, and I can just start pulling on the bottom part of a bar and easing this dent out. If I was to use a normal bar, okay, you can get a lot of different lengths of these. I'm just picking this as an example. If I was to use this, to get it in to the back of the panel, and then I need to stretch my arm all the way up to work back on myself. So my arm is now straight, and I'm looking down, and I'm trying to be accurate and push at the same time. It's very doable, but it's just a little bit awkward, okay? So take that out, hula hoop back in, and there we go. It just feels a lot easier for me, a lot more comfortable, sorry. And there we go. I can look straight down there, I can look down here, down there, right above, and my arm's just bent at 90 degrees like that. So yes, there you go. Need to buy a hula hoop. Right, let's get taking this dent out. Going down here now. It's getting better with it, obviously with every push it's getting better. So I'm just lifting up those lows and then tapping down the highs and just trying to blend the panel back into its shape. So that's your highs, that's your lows. Tap down the highs, pull up the lows until we're like that. Sounds really simple. It's nice and it's satisfying watching it come out as well. Even after all these years, a big damage, big repair like this seen it unfold. You know, I was looking at the pictures earlier on, and from when I first saw it till now, it's a massive transformation. But there is quite a lot. There's a lot to consider when taking on jobs like this. So you could have the smallest dent in the world that's just not going to come out. And people laugh, you know, they come for a quote and you can't take that out, but we've seen you do all these big jobs. And I always say that every dent is different, okay? So it has to tick all the boxes to be a worthwhile PDR. So something like this, I know it looks big and ugly. It might need a door skin, or it might need a new door. But once you get past all the big bulgy stuff and you pull all the easy metal out and you're just left with the ripples, it's just a ripply dent job, that's it. You know, or it's turned into a handful of small dent repairs instead of one massive dent repair. So yeah, it has to tick all the boxes. You have to be confident enough to repair something that's quite big. But I always say, you know, a big job like that, if you can pull all the meat out and make it into a couple of small dent jobs that you're happy with, then you're on to a winner. Just trying to get this bit out here on the line where the paint's a little bit dull. Knock that bit down. What shall I use? Sharpie. Knockdown and the blending hammer. Alright, looking good. Just going to put a bit more glue on there. We'll go there. Give it a couple of seconds to go off. That pulled it out a bit too far, did that? Oh well, tap it down. Yeah, that should help now with the pulling the rest of it out. What I've done is I've changed to a different screw tip. So I've got a plastic soft cap on there, a bit sharper. Right, excellent. Here we go. Just using my hand like that to pull against the frame, the inner frame of the door, and then the tip of the bar is just pushing this area out. And then tap it down, blend it back in again. So close. I just need to pull a few like very shallow lows up, so I need another glue tab, crease tab. Where is it? It's up there a little bit. Just a very shallow low. So I've managed to get it all up and get all the ripples out now. Just trying to get it up a little bit more. Simple as that. Let's have a look, see what's happened here. Pulled it a little bit too much, but not a problem. Just pulled it there, look. The inspection board on there. Let's have a look with this. Ooh, just a tiny little wiggle at the bottom here. That's all it is, just a tiny little wiggle. I'll show you what I mean, but just a couple more pulls and a bit more on the bar work, and I think I should be there. Very, very minor now. There's not a lot left. Right, okay. I think I've done it. That's good. That's what we like to hear, isn't it? Yes. Right. Yeah. Happy with that. How do you open the door? Right. Let's shut this carefully because we've stripped it, but let's have a look. Right, yeah. Excellent. I just need to blend a tiny bit there, just tap it out a little bit. But apart from that, that's one door saved. All I need to do now is fit the insides back together and give it a polish. So bearing in mind that the paintwork is quite thin in areas around here and dry. So just going to give it a very, very, very light nib in these areas where it's been scratched, and then give it a two-stage polish with the roots, coarse and then fine, and then give it a spray with quick detailer from Garage Therapy and just black this area up as well. Customer is aware of this and they are probably going to get a new mould in the future. But yeah, there you go. Okay, that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching till the end. I hope you enjoyed it. Transforming this 2022 Nissan Juke rear door with only paintless dent removal, no filler, no paintwork. And look at it, look at that, all nice and shiny, ready for the customer, no dents, sorted. Summarise on the repair, okay, so when I first looked at it, I knew that it would be repairable, okay. I opted for the cold glue method. I started at the bottom, then the top. I managed to get about 70 or 80% out in, a pretty quick time. And then it was just a case of knocking both crowns down and finishing the top. And then it was this bit here. This gave me a little bit of trouble. I was a bit wary about the paintwork because it was quite thin. Figured out it must have been a new door or a skin, something like that. But anyway, paintwork's mint. I've polished it up. The scratches have gone and my customer is on her way to pick it up. I'm Martin Sadler from Dent-Remover. Thanks for watching again and see you soon. Cheers.